So I think it's really funny that when people generally talk about like the difference between classical and quantum computers, people are like, okay, well, you know how a classical computer works, right? But like the truth is that like nobody knows that. A simplification of it is it comes down to bits. And bits are made out of pieces of silicon, and you have, tens of thousands to millions of them in your computer. And they can either be in the state 0 or 1. We call it the ground state or the excited state. And everything that you type into your computer, like all words, all numbers, all colors, get translated into computer speech. But it's very binary, right? A quantum computer is run on qubits.
Qubits aren't like bits. They aren't a 1 or a 0. They're more complex. Think of this like a wave. A qubit could be really likely to be 0, which means a lower energy wave, or it could be really likely to be 1, which means a higher energy wave. And each qubit has a probability of being each. When a quantum computer is working, the probabilities of multiple qubits interact.
And they add constructively or destructively, just like waves would. If you were to tap 2 places in a pond.
You know how when you explain something to a 2-year-old and they just keep going, why? And they have to explain it again and you go, why? Yeah. My question is, as the controller of the computer, you decide what about those probabilities?
Basically, you are altering the probabilities while you're running an algorithm.
It's a common misconception that quantum computers try all the options. That's not right. This is simplified, but it's more like a quantum computer kind of watches the pond. It watches how all of those waves interact and then finds the most likely answer. If this is all confusing, don't worry. All you really need to know is that quantum computers calculate things very differently than classical computers do, and that makes them good at different things.
Quantum computers are not going to be faster at everything than a classical computer. It's not good for addition, right? Because your calculator and your phone is perfectly good at that. But the things that quantum computers are good at is finding structure in tons of data. And if you're interested,
is something that quantum computers could be amazing at. But we're also getting closer to another use for quantum computing, one that people and governments are more concerned about.
Completely new encryption algorithms.
Break encryption.
Quantum-resistant encryption.
A fully functional quantum computer could be built with code-breaking capabilities that could render all forms of online encryption unreliable.
Okay, now this is the one that I've been waiting to ask about. Okay. Why is everybody so obsessed with talking about quantum computers and encryption?
So the first major algorithm that was developed for quantum computers is Shor's algorithm, named after Peter Shor. Super nice guy. He invented an algorithm which basically can find prime factors for really large numbers. Why does anyone care about this? Because that's the basis for RSA encryption, which is basically how all transactions on the internet are conducted. And the entire reason that all of our encryption schemes today work that way is because it's basically impossible to crack that with a brute force classical algorithm. It would take, I think it's billions of years. But a quantum computer could do that way more efficiently. We're talking hours to days.
So this global race now makes a ton of sense. Whoever gets a quantum computer to actually do this has a big, obvious advantage.
But we haven't done that yet. That's one of the ones that requires probably 1 million qubits or more to do, but we're working up to it.
So we're not going to be using quantum computers to break all internet security right now. Today, we're at 433 qubits, the record set by IBM. 400 to 1 million qubits is a big difference, but Olivia's